Hello everybody, tonight we're going to do the Electoral College. This is 3.5. This will be the last thing that we cover prior to the midterm as far as new material is concerned. This is not the last thing in Unit 3, but it will be the last thing that we cover before your midterm. So tonight we're going to identify the processes of the Electoral College, and we're going to understand the impact of redistricting, or what we refer to as gerrymandering. You guys should already be familiar with that term because we talked about it earlier on in Unit 2A. This is a winner-take-all system that we have in the United States. For most of the states, there are a couple that are proportional representation as well, so you'll understand what those two terms mean. So the Constitution requires that we have an electoral college and that we use that in order to determine who is the president. There have been presidents in the past who have lost the popular vote but won the electoral college vote, and so therefore they were the president. Every state gets at least 3 electors, and those people are going to be the people who cast the ballot for the president. So in order to determine the number of electors, just look at the map below. So if you think about states like California, they are large. They are large in their population. They are large in their size. Texas, again, is large in its population. Nobody lives in North Dakota or South Dakota or Montana because it's cold and there's nothing there. Same thing with Alaska. You guys can kind of see my drift here. So if you're looking at this particular map, these states are going to have different electoral college votes and the number based off of how many people actually live in this state. So here's how we determine the number of electors. Every state gets at least 2 electors for the number of their senators, right? So every state has 2 senators, and so therefore they get 2 electors. They also get at least 1 more elector because of the number of representatives they have in the House of Representatives. So if you think about this, Montana, North Dakota, and South Dakota only have 1 person in the House of Representatives to represent their entire state. Yes. Now, California has 53. North Carolina has 13. So in order to do this math, it's really simple. You just look at the number that you see on the map below and you subtract 2, and that's how many are in the, like Texas has 36 in the House of Representatives and then 2 senators. That's how we get that number. Now, the smallest that you can have then is going to be 3 because, again, everybody is guaranteed at least 3. The larger the state's population, the more votes they have in the Electoral College. The magic number. The magic number is 270. Now, there are 538 votes in the Electoral College. And you would say, why, Ms. Marquez? There are only 100 senators, and there are 435 members in the House, which would be 535. Why in the world are there 538? Well, Washington, D.C. gets 3, right? Amendment 23, people can vote for president in Washington, D.C. That's how we have an additional 3 members of the Electoral College. Now, people who are used to winning, or people who are used to losing and then have the power to be able to do this, love to gerrymander. They love to redraw the voting districts just to make sure that they are going to win. And sometimes win excessively as opposed to win the percentage that that you would normally get in a particular election. So gerrymandering, we already did this in class, redrawing the voting districts to be able to win. In the United States, 48 of the states have a winner-take-all system, which basically means that if the person gets 1 more vote in the state of North Carolina than the other candidate, they get all 15 of our Electoral College votes. Meaning, in this next election, let's just say that one of the candidates gets 51% of the vote, and the other candidate gets 49% of the vote. That would mean that whoever got the 51%, even though almost half of the people went for somebody else, that would be the Electoral College getting all 15 of our Electoral College votes, as opposed to what we refer to as proportional, meaning that since we have 15, 8 of them would go to one candidate and 7 of them would go to the other if it was a 51 to 49 difference. So that's huge. So you'll watch a video in just a second that gives a little bit more detail about why this is probably problematic for our democracy as a whole. You're going to watch the video now. You're going to answer the questions. Have a wonderful evening, ladies and gentlemen.